Alice, you've often
Mm.
spoken about the energy in the world and ley lines, and I was wondering if you could give an idea of what are ley lines and what do they do?
Well, ley lines. I first came across the word ley lines by a guy who came to give us a talk called Hamish Miller. He was a blacksmith down in the West Country where I live, and he was a man who studied energy lines and gave us a few talks, and I found him very interesting. And I thought, well, I'm going to have a little go at this myself. And I got some rods and I started walking in fields. We had a small holding, so we had fields. So I'd be out there walking away, walking around the field with my little ley line rods, looking for energy. And yeah, I found it quite fascinating, really. The lines, most of them run on, like churches are all built on ley lines because they know about the energy line. They're energy lines. That's what they are. They run all over the world, all sort of interconnected. I didn't go too deeply into the subject because I've been searching for all sorts of things all my life. Like, it's not down to just one thing, it's down to many things. But so I got these rods and I started, as I say, going in the field and working the rods. And some I was walking through, and then the rods were, like, you've gone too far, like, the rods are
Mm.
working past me. So I'd come back, and I know that we were doing a world thing at one time, the group that I belonged to. It was a World Healing Day, and it was suggested we go out and sit in the garden or wherever and sit on, find a ley line and then sit and meditate on the line. So out I went, and it was at a certain time. I can't remember the time because this was a long time ago. And I did find a spot. And when I looked, there was a church that was opposite, and I thought, yeah, I can see it running right through this church. So I found it. I sat down. I asked what colours were there, and there was a mixture of colours. And on this certain time, it was of the day, to go into meditation. But when I sat on that line, God, it went straight through my body. I thought, Jesus, I think it nearly lifted me up off the ground. And I sat and I sent my thoughts out of love and healing throughout the world. At the same time, we were getting ready to travel around the world. We bought a round the world ticket, and Trevor and I, we twandled off. We went to America, and someone is at the front door. That's Alexa. She keeps thinking somebody's knocking on my door, but they're not. Anyway, we was in America, and we were, oh God, where was we? We was in the petrified forest, and I thought, oh, ideal. Like, these rocks used to be trees, so they're really really old. So out come the rods, and I started dowsing, and the colour that I picked up on was blue, and it suggested that that was the only colour that was running in this part where I was working. And I started asking questions, and I was getting answers and really got into it. I thought, this is really magical. And then Trevor, he must have been watching me, and he said, what are you doing? So I said, well, I'm working on a ley line. I explained it to him what I was doing, and he said, can I have a go? So I thought, yeah, so I said, yeah, no problem. I showed him what to do. After I'd finished gathering the information that I was seeking, I gave him the rods, and there he was, up and down with the rods. He thought it was magical. And he was a guy who wouldn't, he was open, but he didn't suffer fools lightly and things, you know what I mean? He was a bit wary about spiritual things, especially. So, so when we left there, everywhere we went, that I felt that I wanted to see what was there apart from the lovely scenery and that, he would jump on the bandwagon, and "Can I have a little go?" "Yes," get him going. And then when we got to Australia, we was out, near Cooper Pedy, a mining place, and I thought, "This is gonna be interesting." Before I could start, he jumped on me, he said, "Can I have your rods?" So, he's he's got my rods, and off he's trotted, and he come racing back, and he said, "God," he said, "I've just asked if there's any animals around here, and I got a yes." He said, "And when I moved this rock, there was a lizard underneath." He said, "So I've found something." He had another go, and he found some opal and, slithers of opal. In fact, I've still got the opal. He was totally convinced that this does work, that ley lines can pick up on energies and that. So it was quite lovely really to see it with him because, as I say, he just didn't, he'd listened to say, but he never really got involved in anything.